What's up guys, my name is Andy. This garage space is too small. For almost 5 years now I've been working on the cars that I've had here in the garage. I've even had a car over here by where my truck's always parked, and it's just not enough space, and I need more space than what I've got here in my garage. So I want to build a shop, but where can you put one? I need to put it in my backyard. I'm not going to extend the garage here. I can't go out forward, so I need to go out back. So let's go out back. So if we take a walk through out back out here, this is what the back of the garage looks like. And right now I've got this 10 by 20 shed that I've been storing stuff in, got a lawnmower and stuff like that in there, but it's not enough and I can't put a car in there. So I've been getting prepped and getting ready to do a shop that I want to put in the back here. So I've got a recently installed a new gate. It's a 12-foot gate so that I can drive through here. But I want to put a shop back here in this area. I got to get rid of that shed though. So that's one of the things I got to get done. But I started to mark out kind of where I was going to have everything. I've been cutting back the plants and the trees and trying to get stuff kind of moved out of the way. And you can see I've got a stake here that I was going to have it just kind of be in line with where the shed was, because the concrete just comes up to that, and then just go all the way out to here, from this corner all the way over to this corner, which is about, this is 24 feet, and then I was going to go 40 feet back that way. But while I was getting all this stuff prepped and done, I had to come out and mark the gas line, and this yellow paint, which is starting to fade, there's a little bit more there, but this is where the gas line is for the house. So I have to move the garage back about 6 feet. So this stake that I have over here isn't going to be in the right spot. It needs to be, you know, somewhere back in this area. So then it'll be 24 wide all the way over there, and then back 40 feet. So if we come around this way, oh, some of you guys that have been following the channel might recognize what this is. This little cross member suspension piece for a project coming up. I need a place to install that, right? I need a shop to install that. So here's the gas meter I was talking about. So that gas line runs basically right through here, and I can't have the shop on top of that. So I got to move it back. And so then I'm going to get rid of this concrete piece here and then take out some of the grass. And then that stake over there was where it was going to be, but I got to go back about 6 feet or so from there. And that will be where the shop will be. So I've got a lot of work to do. It's raining today, but as I continue to chip away and get things ready to build this shop, I got some work to do. So let's get after it. The first thing I needed to do was get rid of this concrete. I went and rented a jackhammer, and I found out how quickly I don't want to do that kind of work for my job. So a lot of hard work, but I'm glad I got it done, and I knocked it out in about an hour, which wasn't too bad. So the next step was to get rid of that 10 by 20 shed that I had in the back. I had quite a bit of money in that, but I just wanted to get rid of it. So I put it online for free and had a bunch of people message me about it, and finally had a guy come over and grab it. And the big thing is this thing's really, really heavy. In fact, we tried to use these boat trailer things to jack it up and get some boards underneath there. And he brought over a tilt bed trailer to put it on there. We had to pull it up using a winch, and it was quite a bit of work. In fact, it ended up taking 2 days to get this thing out of the backyard. But this guy did awesome. He worked real hard. He brought a lot of good equipment over with him. I'm sure there's a different way we could have done it, but considering the circumstances and stuff, it worked out pretty good, and we were able to get this thing out of the backyard. As we got it loaded up, it actually slid on pretty fast, pretty easy. That winch did a pretty good job, and as heavy as that thing is, it just slid right up there, and we were able to get it loaded up, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But getting it out of the backyard was a hard part. I even cut down a couple of trees that we could hopefully pull it out the back and go around the house, but it just it just didn't end up working. So we had to go back out through the gate that I had made, and we ended up taking the gutter off the side of the garage to thread that needle and get that thing through there. And this guy did an awesome job. He did it in one shot, backed that thing right out of there, and it was amazing. He did such a good job. So the next step was to get all the cinder blocks out of the ground that were the foundation, essentially, the footings for my shop, or my shed. Dig those up, get them out of the way, move everything over so we can have this kind of fresh ground to work with. I had to rip up the old sprinkler line and get that out of the way. I had to cut some of the grass out of the way, and just did a lot of stuff myself just to kind of prep everything. Although the guys with the excavator probably could have done a lot of that, but I wanted to make sure I knew where everything was and what I was working with. Now it's time to call in the big boys and bring in the big toys and get everything done. This is one of the things that I didn't do myself, is getting all this foundation concrete done, getting everything prepped for that and all framed in for everything. I don't know enough about that stuff, and I really wanted it perfect. You know, you got to have a perfect foundation, which will end up making your building better because you've got a good place to start with. So these guys came in and they spent a couple of days getting everything prepped, digging the footings for on the side, because the kind of slab I was doing what's called a mono slab, where the foundation, the footings of it are, you know, around the perimeter of the building, and then but they don't have that traditional wall of concrete. It's like a backwards, I don't know, triangle looking piece where the ground slopes up from the edge towards the middle, and I don't know how to describe it, but anyways, we put in, it was 18 inches down into the ground around the perimeter of this building, and then they bring in, you know, this gravel to level everything out, and they had to take the vibrator piece and tamp everything down and make it all nice and flat, and they're using their string lines and their transit and stuff like that just to make sure everything was where we wanted. This is, again, it took a couple, maybe a week from the time we started, we broke ground, till the time that the concrete was done. So which wasn't too bad, but I really lean on these guys to know what they're doing and have, you know, pay a crew that does this part for a living, because I can do the framing and stuff like that, but this is not something that I've done, and I just need to have it perfect. The front of the shop is 4 inches thick, and the back is 8 inches thick. The back, the last 15 feet of the shop, because I'm gonna put a lift in there eventually. So I wanted to have thicker concrete. So that was one thing that they did, is it made it so that it was a couple inches thicker in the back. So when we started pouring the concrete, we had to have a pumper truck because we just couldn't get a cement truck to this spot, either from the front or from the back. So we had to get a pumper to pump all this stuff in, which was fine. Adds to the cost, but you know, you were limited on, you know, where the shop was located. I just couldn't get a cement truck to it. And they started really early on this. It was like something like 6 in the morning they started doing this, and you know, by what, 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock or something like that, all the concrete was poured, which was awesome. And they just did their final cleanup work on it, you know, where they screed everything off and make it nice and flat, and get everything ready to start prepping that surface for that real smooth concrete surface that you want in your shop. I tried to put a couple of drone footages in here. Didn't turn out like I wanted. I wanted to do a little better job of seeing everything from the drone, but oh well, it is what it is. It was really hot that day, which kind of speeds up the cure of that concrete, so they had to work pretty fast once they got all done pouring to get everything smoothed out. Now, they did a pretty good job. I was really happy with the concrete work, and again, a great foundation for my shop, and that's what I needed. So now comes my favorite part. Framing is my favorite part of any construction, because it changes so much so fast. So let the concrete cure for, it was a couple of days, 2-3 days, and was able to start building those walls and putting them up. I couldn't have done it without my family. They came over to help me assemble these walls and lift them up. They're 12 foot tall, so they're really heavy. We did them in sections, but they were still pretty heavy. Even those headers above the windows and stuff like that, just a lot of weight sitting there. So we got them stood up and got them braced against the house, drilled boards into the house and into the trees next to us, just to make sure everything stands up. And this took, I don't know, it was a long weekend to frame this whole thing, get everything stood up. I'm happy how it came out. It went by fast. This again, my favorite part, just because it changes so much, and you get to see really the shop start to take shape, which is the best part. could have done a better job of filming the framing, and I didn't think about it. And as soon as I think about it, we're halfway done with something, and so I thought, well, I'll just get some footage later, and then I don't do it and I forget about it. And this is probably the worst part, is just not filming enough of what I had been doing. This guy delivering these trusses, we had to go up and over the garage of my house to put them on the walls of the shop. We just couldn't get the truck back there, and I'm really glad that crane, I think it goes like 75 feet or something like that, is the kind of reach he has. So something like that, or 50 feet or whatever. It was just enough to reach back there and set them on the building, which was awesome. There's a lot of weight on that wall. I was a little worried at first, but I built a good wall, built a strong wall, and the guy set them in the right spot, so it worked out. So getting these stood up, I rented one of these scissor lift, these man lift things. I'm hands down one of the best things that I had for this whole project. And not only did we use it for these trusses, but I used it in other places, and I'm so glad that I rented one of these things. So now that we got the trusses up, got everything kind of set where I want, I can start putting up the sheeting. This part I don't care for heights. So once you start putting one up, you can kind of stand up there, which isn't too bad, but it's 12 feet up off the ground with a 312 pitch. So at the peak, you're 15 feet up. That's plenty for me. I don't really want to be up there. So start putting those up. You kind of put them like Lego pieces. They just kind of, every 4 feet, you got a new sheet, and stagger them a little bit, and it goes pretty fast. I was able to do that by myself in an afternoon. Loading them up on top of this scissor lift, and lift them up there and slide them over and nail them in place, and it actually wasn't too bad. You can see how I'm crawling along. I don't want to stand up. I just don't like being up there. Now that I got all the sheeting done, it really starts to take another shape from here. I mean, this is awesome. You go inside here and it starts to feel like a shop. It's happening so fast that I'm forgetting to enjoy it, because I'm so concerned about getting stuff done and making timelines. And I forget to stop and look at it and just get excited about the shop that I'm building. But I'm really happy with it. It came out great. The framing on it was easy, and it was a blast. Next is the house wrap, and this is a fine art. I don't know why I struggled so much putting the wrap on. I could not get it to lay flat, lay straight, and I also wanted it to be square or level, so that as you put these two different layers on, that they all line up. They don't have the marks on there for the studs, which is too bad. I wish they had that, but I struggled so much making everything tight. I just gave up, and as long as it overlaps correctly and it's going to keep the moisture off the wall, that's really all that matters. So now it's time for the siding, and I'm just putting the same stuff on the shop that I put on the house, that LP siding or lap siding. It'll match the home, and that's actually kind of one of the things I have to do with where I'm at, is the shop has to be in the same harmony of the home, or some wording like that. So this is going to be fine. It looks good, and it'll last, so that's what I wanted. You just work it a section at a time. We started on the back of the shop here to make sure we perfected what we were doing, and then we went to the front and just keep the parts simple. These are all long, pieces that are just, there's no seams there, so it makes it really easy for this part. But then when you get to the long walls, you got to make sure you've got your gaps in there, and that everything falls out on the same spot. And it takes a little bit of effort for these longer walls, but it goes by pretty quick, especially when you got a great helper like my wife. She did awesome. She was so helpful. These are a lot of long evenings and weekends to get this stuff done. And it gets late in the evening, and you're starting to run out of steam and run out of light, and you don't want to, make the neighbors mad because you're making a bunch of noise at 8, 9 o'clock at night. Next was the soffits and the fascia. Ooh, I really don't like doing that stuff. Again, you're up high, and I don't really like that. I put the shingles up on the roof, got the paper up there. I ended up paying a guy to come put the shingles on. I don't like being up there, and it's hot, and it's one of those things I just bit the bullet and spent the money to have somebody else do that for me, because I just didn't want to do it. As I'm wrapping up this house, just a couple little things left to do. Again, this scissor lifting comes in so handy. I'm gonna have to climb up and down, up and down, up and down on ladders. I really didn't like doing that, so this worked great. Trying to cut those angles for the pitch of the roof. It takes a little bit of kind of figuring out what you're doing to match that angle, and you go up and down and you recut it and then remeasure, but you get to it. When you're doing it by yourself, it does take a little bit longer, but that's just part of it. And the last thing was those windows. It took 8 weeks to get those windows. I'm not happy about that, but it's the last thing I was waiting for, and got them installed and finished up the siding, and then we were done. All right, guys, and just like that, we've got ourselves a shop. Let's go take a look at it. So, this is what a couple of months, lots of long evenings and super long weekends will get you. Let's take a look from the kind of scoot back so you can see everything in it. I know you've seen a lot of it on the time-lapse stuff so far, but this is the shop. So again, we got a 24 by 40 shop. Oh, still got to do paint, but the paint's a couple weeks out, so I'm essentially done, right? I'm past inspection, electrical's done. So I'm just at a point where I just need to wait for paint, but I can start moving stuff in and get everything going. So yeah, so we've got a couple of windows up here on this side, let some sunlight in. On the other side, there isn't any, there's all trees and stuff, so you're never gonna, I mean, I guess there could be a little bit of light, but it's just not worth putting the windows in over there on that side. We've got an entry door here on this corner. And then on the front side, we've got a 16-foot door, and then straight through in the back is an 8-foot door. They're both 8 foot tall. I did do a high door in the back over there in case I do a lift on this side of the shop. I plan to do a lift on this side, but I wanted that door out of the way, but for this side, it wasn't as critical. I won't be doing anything in the front. I could have put it up high, but not a big deal. Plus I'm gonna have some ceiling fans and stuff up there, and I wanted to have some space for that. But I'll go through and do a video on the, you know, all this, you know, what it costs for everything. I'll do a video on, you know, pros and cons, what I liked, what I would do different, what I wouldn't do, all that kind of stuff. I'll catch up a little bit in a follow-up video. This one's getting kind of long, but here we are. This is a shop. We're done. Fantastic. I can't wait. I can't wait to move in. I can't wait to get some of my projects I've been waiting to do, and I am pumped. So it's been a great day. It's been a long couple of months, but here we are. So, all right, guys. We'll see you in the next one.